Hello, and welcome to the Finding Wisdom Show. My name is Linda Singh, and I'm here with a very special guest. Today, I have with me George Russo from the Russo Catering Hall. Thank you so much for being here
Oh, my
today.
pleasure, Linda. My pleasure.
How are you today?
Great, fine, thank you.
It's a beautiful day outside, right?
Yes, it is. It's nice.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. I want to know a little bit more about you, how you grew up, what it was like.
Okay, well, I grew up in the Ozone Park section of Queens right here. My father started this business at the Villa Russo in 1954, which was the year I was born. So I was born and raised in this business, watching my dad and mom work very hard over the years, starting with a little pizzeria over here on 101st Avenue in Richmond Hill, Queens. And consider my dad a real Horatio Alger story from a little pizzeria, which him and my uncle had begun. In, like I said, the mid-50s. They expanded into a restaurant, purchased a building on this side of 101st Avenue, which is where we are now, 11816 101 Avenue. They were forward-looking enough to purchase the next door when it came due, expanded the restaurant there in the mid-60s. And it was always their dream, my dad and my uncle, to ultimately go into the catering business. So we are now sitting in Villa Russo Catering Hall, which was opened in 1977. We had our first wedding here in 1977. So from the 50s through the 60s, the 70s, and right now through today, almost it's over 56 years later, it's still family run, it's still family operated. I am here overseeing my staff, many of whom have been with us for many, many years. And I've inherited not only a business from my dad, which I'm grateful about, but I've inherited his work ethic and his value system and his attention to detail and his concern for the community and the consumers that come from the community into our establishment. And we're very grateful for the support of the community for those many years. So much of my upbringing and my early years were spent right in this facility here. I'm also an attorney, a licensed attorney, so in between my stints here as a busboy and a waiter and a bartender and every jack of all trades here, every position possible, I went to St. John's University undergrad. After graduating from Bishop Loughlin Memorial High School in Brooklyn. And then from there I went to New York Law School. I graduated in the early 80s. My uncle, who was my dad's partner for many years, had passed in the late 80s. I came back after being admitted to the practice of law, opening up a small law office here in Richmond Hill, Queens in the 80s. Came back to assist my dad. My brother in the 80s as well had opened up Russo's on the Bay, which is a very prominent catering hall in its own right there in Howard Beach. So it was me and my dad from the late 80s on. I reopened my law office, my law practice about 10 years ago. The Villa Russo is, we do during the week affairs, but primarily weekend events, so weddings, christenings, sweet 16s, you name it, showers. So during the week I spend my time at my law office, and in evenings I'm here at the Villa Russo, and in the weekends it's a very enjoyable experience for me. Like I said, it's second generation. I also have my son here working with me. So we put a lot of pride into what we put forth here to our clients. And it's taught me a lot. The business has taught me a lot.
What has the business taught you, actually?
Well, growing up in the restaurant business, there was a lot of colorful characters that come into the restaurant. You're serving all different kind of people. It taught me how to work as a team, because you're working with a small crew of waiters and busboys, and you're very service oriented. That's one of the keys to the business. So you're working as a team. You're learning how to accommodate the guests and the patrons of your restaurant. You're also you're learning the quality and the value that you're bringing to your guests through the service, and through the food. I watched my father and my uncle in the kitchen, day and night, sweating over those dishes and coming up with family recipes that they were very proud of, handed down from generations. My grandfather, who's my uncle and father's father, had come over here as an Italian immigrant when he was 14 years old. Actually, he was a stowaway on a steamship coming here to New York, and he worked hard and saved enough money to bring his family over. And he started a little restaurant over in Jamaica on Orchard Avenue, and my uncle and my dad had worked there when they were young, like I had worked for my dad when I was young. So you're talking about generations of the Russo family being involved in serving their patrons, their community, and with an attention to detail, and with family recipes that were made from the heart, with love.
So I'm sorry, you said before you were born in 1954, that's when they opened up
Yes.
Villa Russo, is that correct?
That's when my father and my
Or when
uncle
they got
first
the
opened
pizzeria.
a little pizzeria. It was called Russo's Pizzeria.
Okay.
It was right here on 101st Avenue in Richmond Hill, Queens. They were delivering pizzas, from the first day they opened. And through, like I said, hard work, discipline, vision in purchasing real estate, and mostly just the joy of serving others. They built a successful business from a restaurant, from a little pizzeria, to a restaurant first.
Oh, to a restaurant?
Yes, in the 60s.
Okay.
It was Villa Russo restaurant.
Tell us a little bit about that. What I guess my question was, before they got into the pizzeria, when your grandfather came over here and he worked very hard, was he into construction? And then how did he get into this idea or this vision here? I want to serve people. I want to have a business. I want to start making pizzas.
Well, actually, it was my father and uncle who were both in the service. And after the service, after they served their country and came out of the service, wanted to go into a business of their own. And they felt between them that what they knew most about, through working alongside my grandfather in his delicatessen, in his little eatery, that's the business they chose. They were very entrepreneurial. They had a strong work ethic, and they really chose something that they really loved to do, serving others. Add to that a little vision and wanting the desire to expand and go from a pizzeria to a full-service restaurant, and from there to a catering hall. And now flash forward to 2011, we have the Villa Russo, Russo's on the Bay, a couple of other restaurants. So it's a real success story. Humbly speaking, it's a success story. I attribute my success to my dad, and I'm proud to be walking his footsteps. But it shows you what you can achieve here in this country, because I've lived it and I've seen it. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't come without sacrifices and hard work. My dad was not around oftentimes at night, holidays and weekends. We spent all of our holiday affairs here at the Villa Russo, which was fine with me. It was normal as a kid. But there were many nights when my dad wasn't around, and that's the sacrifice, and that was the trade-off, I guess. I try not to make that same sacrifice for my children. I'm lucky enough that my children now enjoy the business and are here at times with me. But I've seen what can be achieved through, desire, a will to succeed, and a passion for what you do. So those are the real. That's what I've really learned in the business.
That's fabulous. So growing up with your father watching you, so you must have learned a lot of things from him. Did you look up to him? Did you admire him?
I did. I admired both my dad and my uncle. They had two very different personalities.
Tell us a little bit about that. What was your dad like? What was your uncle like?
Well, my dad was, he was the Mr. Outside, so to speak. He took care of the client or the customer out in the dining room, and he would book the parties, and he would be the one who would interact primarily with the guests, go to table. He was kind of the face of the business, more diplomatic side of the business. My uncle liked to be in the kitchen. He was an artist. You know, he wanted to create, and he could be as temperamental as artists can be. Everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be look good, smell good, and taste good. Had a very, very high standard. Wasn't the easiest gentleman to work with. A lot of hollering going on in that kitchen, but he knew what he wanted, and he wanted that product to be excellent. So he stayed in the kitchen. He wasn't that diplomatic. If the kitchen door opened, you might hear him screaming a little bit at one of the waiters. But they made a great team. My father wanted to stay out of the kitchen at a certain point and just deal with the clientele. My uncle liked to purchase the product and go to the fish markets and bring that fresh produce and meat and seafood to his kitchen and prepare it with skill, precision, and love. So I learned a lot from both of them. I admired both of them for the qualities that they brought to the business. My father wasn't the artist. He was the businessman. He was the one who saw the opportunity to buy a piece of property next door and expand. I remember when I was growing up, the business was across the street from a gas station. The gas station went out of business. My dad made a good offer to the company that owned the property, and today it's our parking lot. You know, in a densely populated urban community, that's very important for the life of a business to have adequate parking. So my father had the vision to see down the road a bit, and my uncle was the artist who created that product, the recipes, and the attention to detail to make sure that the consistency was there in each dish every night. So put those two pieces together, there was a lot to admire and respect. So I'd like to think I've gotten a little from each of them, and been able, hopefully, to continue the success of both of them. And they built the foundation, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to keep that good fortune going.
And would you like for years to come for other people to keep this going, as a family business?
Well, naturally, there's a lot of pride and a lot of family history here, and people ask me, well, I have 5 children. My oldest son, I'm very proud to say, is a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps serving his country. He did 2 tours, one in Iraq and one in Afghanistan. He's safe stateside right now in California at 29 Palms. He's an executive officer of his company. My second son, Paul, works with me here in the business, and I'd like nothing better than for him to enjoy the business and for it to be his passion, if that's what he chooses. We don't know what paths we're going to take. I went to law school. I was in the business, left for a while to go to school, came back. If you'd have asked me when I was in my 20s whether I'd be in this business like I am today, I probably couldn't envision it at that point. But I've grown to really appreciate it and enjoy it. And if that's what my children want and that's their passion, that's what makes them happy, nothing would make me happier than for them to take that family tradition and bring it on to another generation. We've made we've made outreach to the community. The community around us has changed over the last, obviously, most communities, every community, the last 20 or 30 years. Right. And we've been fortunate enough that the community has responded very positively to us. And I'd like to think that we're going to be here and serving the community for years to come.
I'd like to believe so too, because you have really great staff that work here, and
thank you.
They're very courteous and give great service. The food is actually really great.
Thank you. It's what we take pride in. It's we call it a product, but it's a product that's put together with love. Cooking family recipes that have been in my family for over 50 years. My head chef has been here since he's 15 years old. He's been here for over 35 years. We have maitre d's that have been here for 17 years, banquet managers over 15 years. It really is truly a family here. And without giving up on the discipline and the attention to detail, but I like to think that we have a real nice atmosphere to work in. We treat our employees with respect, and it's just we have a nice team, a well-trained team, and a team that's really wants to be here on the weekends. When we have our team meetings and our staff meetings, I always emphasize the fact that we're in this business for many years, but this weekend coming up, we're going to be serving people's weddings, their christenings, their anniversaries. These are going to be memories that they're going to be created for the rest of their lives. They're going to take photos, they're going to take videos, and we're a special part of that special event in their life. So never lose sight of that. I tell my staff, never lose sight of the fact that this is such a unique and memorable event in their lives. So my staff gets that, and they enjoy working. It's a fun environment. It's a fun atmosphere. You're serving people at a special time in their lives. There's music going on. There's good food. You take that 5 hours or 6 hours, and I tell my staff this: people are leaving. There's a lot of pain out there today. I see it in my law office. People are behind on their mortgages. They have credit card debt. There's a lot of stress. When they come to these events, they want to put that behind them. They want to leave it at the front door. They want to enjoy themselves and dance and drink and mingle with their family and friends. And we're here to make that experience as memorable as possible. And it's our honor to be part of it. So we have a staff that really gets that and is enthusiastic and enjoys coming to work. And you can see it in the service. Same thing with our chefs. Been here many years, carrying on a tradition. They're skilled craftsmen. They enjoy cooking for others. So, when you have people coming to work with passion in what they do, it's going to show in the results.
Oh, definitely. Without passion, how can you succeed? Passion is everything, because with the passion will give you more inspiration to do more, and being able to please your clients that come here to have an event. It's very important. You just stated that this person's wedding day.
They've planned this for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And on our emphasis is we want that fair obviously to be memorable, but I can't tell you how many people have come back to us over the years. So we're not doing one affair for someone. We want to be their caterer of choice. We want them to be a client for life of ours. My father was around today. He's passed on 5 years ago this week. But thank you. But if he was here, I often hear the story of just a couple of weeks ago, a woman came here. She was at an affair. Her daughter was getting married. And her daughter had gotten christened here. Her daughter was 29 years old. We had her christening here almost 29 years before that. She had her sweet 16 here. It was just so poignant that she felt at home here. This was it was like a second extension of her family. This is where she had all her affairs. And that's what we try to achieve. And that's what we've heard time and again over the years. It's just not that one affair. We're here when they need us, whether it's, in some cases it's been a dinner after a burial for a family member who asked that their family gather here at the Villa Russo after their burial because it was such a special place for them. I mean, those are the stories that kind of keep your passion alive, that really rekindle the reason why you're here. We're not just caterers. We're an extension of other people's families when they come and gather for that special event. And I can't tell you how often that I'll visit somebody in their home, or they'll show me a picture of their loved one, and Villa Russo is in the background. That picture was taken here at the Villa Russo. As a matter of fact, we were watching American Idol, and Pia Toscano, who was just voted off the show, who's a lovely young lady, and credit to her community, had sung to her grandfather here at an event. And the picture of her singing to her grandfather was there on American Idol. We saw the background of the Villa Russo. So that makes me proud. That's who we are. That's part of my life, being a part of their special events.
And building memories with them.
And creating memories. People ask me, what business are you in? We're really in the memory business. We're here to assist people create that memory that they're going to carry for the rest of their life. That sweet 16, that christening, that 21st birthday, the wedding, the engagement, whatever it may be, they're going to dress up, they're going to bring their cameras. That's going to be a night that they're always going to remember, and we emphasize that to my staff, and we're very cognizant of the fact that we play a very special part in that special event, in that memorable day.
And that's great. I mean, that is something that someone holds for the rest of their lives, so that's a very key part. So you do a very good service to the community.
But when they think of us, when they think of that special day, they're thinking of the Villa Russo as well, because we helped them stage it, we've walked them through it, we've held their hand, we've oftentimes assisted them in what vendors they should choose for their event. My banquet managers are doing the seating arrangements, picking the color scheme, setting the themes. So we're not only the event hall, we are consultants. We are going to consult with our clients from the moment they book their affair right through to that event that evening. So, and in some cases that could be 18 months, or a year in advance. So we're going to walk them through chronologically each step, when to send out their invitations, how to do the seating, how to pick the menu, what kind of colors in their napkins and chair covers and sashes should they choose, what kind of special drink do they want that evening. Right through from the most minute detail, to when should the DJ start playing? When that evening comes, how do we set the evening? How do we create, together with the rest of their vendors, photographers, videographers, DJs, how is that night going to be the most special night it can be? Flawless and stress-free for our guests. So we're not only hosting them, but we're consulting and holding their hand and being a very important part of planning that day.
You also you also make a big difference in the fundraisers that you do also at the Villa Russo. You've helped a lot of people. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've done here?
Well, we understand that we have a unique ability to bring people together and offer a space that could be utilized for the betterment of the community. So we're opening our doors and often do to community events and fundraising events that are going to benefit either a public official who's devoted to the community, senior center who may need a place during the holiday season to celebrate among themselves, for good and worthy causes for the community. We understand and appreciate the support of the community over these many years, and it takes a number of things to make a successful community, and the businesses play an important role in that. Obviously, public officials, civic leaders, good citizenry, but as a business, we accept and acknowledge our role and responsibility, and it's our pleasure to give back to the community in whatever way we can. And most often that way is come and use our facility. You're raising money for a good event. We want to be part of it. We want to be a sponsor of that event. As long as we know that the cause is right and the money is going to the right place, we want to be part of that. So that's a real important part of our mission and who we believe we are as being a centerpiece in the community for over 50 years.
That is fantastic. Are you a member of any charities by chance?
Well, I'm pretty civically active. I'm a member of the intercommunity civic group that meets here at the Villa Russo. I'm the president of the Boys and Girls Club here in Richmond Hill. I have my own family charity. It's Angels on the Bay, where we raise money for pediatric care for children in our community. So there's a number of hats I wear that are geared towards philanthropic organizations that are local and civic groups that provide services to the community. I'm also a member of Community Planning Board 10, which serves this community. So I love my community. I was born and raised here. I still live in Ozone Park. I really enjoy the feeling of being in and of the community. So that gives me a real thrill. So in my whatever time I have to devote, I certainly enjoy giving back whatever time I may have to my community.
That is great. A lot of people don't realize how important it is to give back to the community that they came from, that they grew up in. And I find that's very wonderful, that you're able to realize and want to give back and help people in one way or another, bringing them together, doing fundraisers, being part of the charities, being part of the... Can you tell me a little bit more about the Boys and Girls Club? You said you're the president of Boys and Girls
I'm
Club.
the president of Boys and Girls Club. There's a facility not far from here. It's on 111th Street and Atlantic Avenue. The facility's been there for, just like the Villa Russo, over 50 years. We serve approximately 400 children in a variety of different services. We provide computer services. There's after-school programs where children who parents are not home after school, they can come after school, complete their homework in a safe environment, and then their parents can pick them up. We have summer day camps. We have immigration initiatives helping immigrants in the community learn how to fill out forms for some of these immigration issues. We have sports and arts and crafts for the boys and girls. We're at a very exciting time at the Boys and Girls Club, where we just had a groundbreaking last week on a new facility where we're going to expand the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, you're going to expand it?
It's a $9 billion project. Our local officials have been very generous in their capital budgets. We're starting that as we speak. Should be about a 2-year project, but at the end of that project, it's going to be state-of-the-art facility, much more room for the boys and girls, a official-sized gymnasium, an arts and crafts auditorium, new computer rooms. So it really, when we had the groundbreaking, Joe Ferraro, who was the kind of wind beneath the wings of the Boys and Girls Club, had quoted Colin Powell, who was also years ago at a Boys and Girls opening, and the General Powell said that by building Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't need to build as many jails. So the choice is, do we build more Boys and Girls Clubs or facilities for children, keep them off the streets, give them a positive environment, or do we want to see them in places that we don't want to speak of? So I feel very fortunate to be involved in an organization like the Boys and Girls Club. You could actually see the results. You could see the boys and girls there receiving the services, staying off the street, smiling, laughing and joking, and it's such a diverse community here, and it's just great to see the diversity there in the Boys and Girls Club, but children from all different ethnic and racial backgrounds just getting along and playing, learning, and developing together.
That is really great. I think that's a big difference that you're making in the community.
Well, I'd like to think so, in our own small way, carrying the baton, so to speak, for a few years, and I'm really excited to be the president during this exciting time. Can't wait to see the new facility. I think it's going to be tremendous for the community, and not only for the boys and girls, because we're going to have enough of a facility, hopefully, where we can have the seniors come. We can have greater after-school programs. We could expand the type of programs we have for the children and the rest of the community. So I think it's going to be a real a beacon of hope and progress for the community.
I think you're right, because at this time that we're living in right now, we can use that kind of hope and help inspire the young ones to do something more.
Well, they're our future, right?
Yeah.
They're the future, so
Definitely.
we have to do what we can to point them in the right direction. And
If we don't invest in the future, what's going to happen?
Yep. Well, they're the future of our country. You know, we're proud to be Americans, proud to be living in this country at this time, and in this great city. Its diversity, I think, is so is its strength, and it's all of our responsibility to move our younger generation forward. Hopefully, they'll learn from some of our mistakes. You know, our country is not in the greatest shape it should be today,
Right.
but maybe with the right, you know, learning skills and guidance, and maybe they won't make some of the mistakes we made.
Yeah. That would be wonderful, right?
Yes.
To learn from our. So, what kind of what was it like with your mom around when growing up? Was your mom around?
My mom was involved in the business early on. When I was young, I remember she was working as a waitress and helping my dad. But primarily, she was a stay-at-home mom and did all the things that stay-at-home mom to make sure we went to school and got to school. Like I said, my dad wasn't around as much as we would have liked, working a lot of nights and weekends. So my mom had to be primarily the disciplinarian in the household and making sure we kind of toed the line until we were old enough to come to work, and we were able to work with my dad. But my mom was the real, you know, heartbeat in the household, and also learned a great deal from my mom. She sacrificed for many years, you know, without my dad around. When other, you know, women were out and about, she was watching the children and helping out in the business in her own way. So they were married for over 50 years, and that was, you know, they were great role models for us as children. It's myself, my brother who's at the Russo's on the Bay, and my sister Joanne, who has 6 children herself. My sister was very involved in the business when she was young as well, as bookkeeping, and she had a flair for creativity and designing. She helped a lot of design and inspiration when it came to decorations, etc. So we could feel the effects of her enthusiasm and her creativity even today. So it was a family affair. It was a nice time when we were growing up. So we all left our own imprint on the business. For my mom, my dad, and my uncle, obviously, and me and my brother. My brother left to open up Russo's on the Bay in the mid '80s, and we know the success of that facility. Okay. So we all left a little bit of ourselves here.
So he loved it so much that he did Russo's on the Bay.
Yeah, I was the black sheep. I went to law school, but he was the caterer. He really brought it to another level. Right. He became a student of the catering industry, and you know, very proud of his accomplishments. I love the business as well, but I'm able to do what I enjoy as well, which is practicing law.
You love that?
I do. It's a nice balance to what I have here. I was always, when I was young, wondering, geez, will I be an attorney or be a caterer? And I grew up to be both.
Well, that's even better, right?
Well, I guess it works for me. It works for me. Yeah. I enjoy what I do in both sections of Lefferts Boulevard, because across the street is my law office. Okay. And we do real estate law, we do immigration law, and we also help people with some of their debt-related problems, be it mortgage arrears or credit card issues. So it's kind of another way of serving the community as well. So I like both hats that I wear. I get gratification from both professions.
That's wonderful. So was your dad around? Well, your dad was around when you graduated.
Yes. I like to think I made him proud.
Wonderful.
A lot of what I learned from the restaurant catering business helps me in my law practice in the sense that I've learned to deal with different personalities, patience, attention to detail, and always being service-oriented. You know, here we are customer first. Across the street, my lower office, we're client first. So there's a lot of the same values and ideals that you bring from one industry to another.
Yeah, that is true. And most of the times people, they won't really think about it, but there are a lot of similarities in a lot of areas where you can learn a lot of things if you're open to learn.
Absolutely. I remember when I was a busboy, when I started, I was so shy and introverted when I was serving the tables. And, you know, after a number of years, you became very comfortable in a surrounding with different people and interacting with people, and communication is very important in, obviously, the legal profession.
Definitely, you have to be articulate. You have to be able to speak, and you also have to be able to listen.
Right.
And in the catering business, you also have to be able to speak and listen, because
Right.
you need to make the clients happy. So you have to listen to what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
So it's all about creating.
They're two different skills, yes. Communication and listening.
Definitely. And once you have communication skills, I feel it doesn't matter what you do in life. You could be a janitor. It's not important. As long as you have that communication skills, you're going to succeed in whatever you're going to do.
I believe it's an important component to success, like you said, in any endeavor. Any endeavor.
Yeah, and then you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Well, yes. I mean, I tell my children that. I tell the young people today, you know, what do you think I should be? Or and I follow your enthusiasm, follow your creativity, follow your energy. Find what you love to do. Find what you have a passion to do, because then you'll never work a day in your life.
Right. That is true. Because once you find something that you love doing, even though you're doing it, you're not going to feel like it's work. So yeah.
Doing something that you know, you're surprised that you're getting paid for.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we should all be as lucky, as fortunate as finding something that is what we really were put here for. You know, we all have skills, we all have talents, we all have gifts. The thing is to find your gift, your talent, your skill, and just give back, give value to others. And I think that really is one of the main ingredients of success. Because the more you give, the more successful you'll be. And that's what I believe, that's what I was taught, and hopefully that's what my children and the young people today will learn. Let me find what it is that I really enjoy, and then let me just give my gifts. I want to just give my gifts to the world, and you'll get back.
Definitely. It may not seem that way, but eventually it does come back. It's a balance, you know. You can't always have your hand out wanting, but you're not giving anything. So you have to have a balance, like anything in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I fully agree with that.
It takes time sometimes to learn or to understand, well, what's, you know, but then as you get older, you connect the dots and you realize, well, wow, if that experience, that door didn't close, that other door wouldn't have opened.
Right.
I would have never realized the opportunities that are open
That's
now.
where the wisdom comes. You can't see that. You can't see why this door closed for me until a number of years later, or whenever it was that the other door opened. So it's like they say, it's a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the journey. It's not easy. It's not always easy. But you know what? If we're in the moment and we're receiving the moment, and we're grateful for that moment, and we live under the umbrella of gratefulness, we're going to enjoy our lives through thick or thin. My daughter asked me this Christmas, she was asking me what one of my favorite sayings was, and she bought me this little plaque that said, life is not about waiting for the sunshine. It's about enjoying, it's about learning how to dance in the rain.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Cut. Can you say that again?
Okay, can we cut?
Because they made noise.
Let me tell these guys to not to make noise.
Your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter for Christmas had asked me, she wanted to make a plaque up, and she was asking me what one of my favorite sayings was, and I told her, and I don't really remember where I saw it, but it was, life is not waiting for the sunshine, but it's learning how to dance in the rain.
I love that.
Because life is going to give us a lot of problems and concerns and issues, and it's going to be there every day, and some of us make a little bit more out of them than we should. But I always try to remind myself to be in the moment and to enjoy those little kernels of the relationships with others, and the relationship should always come first. In the midst of all of our busy lives and all of the complications that we put on ourselves, just try to be as best we can in the moment and enjoy in the face of sometimes great stress and strain and difficulties like we all go through. So it's a journey and not a destination. Joy, I have to keep on reminding myself of that. You know, smell the roses, take stock, and
Yes.
and be in the moment.
Definitely. I mean, what happened in Japan, if that hasn't wakened us up, I don't know what will, because
See what those poor people are going through, and our thoughts and prayers are with them, and I know there's some efforts, you know, that we can be part of if we like to help those people that are going through a real hard time.
definitely,
Just shows you how your life could change in a flash in one day.
definitely does. And to appreciate everything for what it is.
Yep.
And thank God for the life that you're fortunate to have.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what you're going through. But I was going to say, if you could leave words for our youth today, words of wisdom or words of inspiration, what would you say to the youth today about what they can do for their future to help them?
Geez, there's so much that you'd want to, you know, tell the youth of today, but hey, work hard, have integrity, respect those around you, obviously. Find something that you really enjoy. Find something that you really love. Ask yourself, what are my gifts? What are my talents? What are my skills? Because we all have them, you know. The good Lord has given us talents and gifts. And what can we develop? Find out we all have to grow and develop our skills, our talents, while we're respecting our elders, while, you know, we're obeying the law, and that this is the greatest country on the face of the earth. There are truly no limits to what you can achieve. I know a lot of you out there may say it sounds trite and you've heard it before, and it doesn't happen overnight and it doesn't come without hard work. But if you have a dream and you have a goal and you're willing to work towards it, and it's a lofty and it's a goal that's a respectful goal, go for it. Don't give up. Get knocked down, come back up again. Be persistent, and enjoy that road, enjoy the journey, but have a good goal for yourself, something that suits your personality, suits your gifts. Give back to those around you, and never give up. Never give up. Find role models, find people that you look up to, emulate their effort, emulate their accomplishments, if you will. Follow in their footsteps as closely as you can. Read about people that you're curious about, that you may admire, and create successes for yourself, as small as they may be. Always have pride in anything that you do. I tell my bus boys, if I ask you to sweep the floor, I want you to be the best floor sweeper that you can, because in that moment, that's what you're doing. And if you do that well, the next thing you'll do would be to serve a table. And after that, it'll be maybe to cook a meal. And this is a job that a lot of my young people that come here to work, it's usually their first job. And it's kind of their first exposure to the real world. And we try to instill those values. You're here, you know, you're going to get paid for your work. It's good, honest work. Do it to the best of your ability. And if you could create that habit, in no matter what endeavor you bring to the table, whether it's doing your homework, being on a sports team, being part of a study group, working at the Villa Russo, whatever it is that you're doing at that moment, do it to the best of your ability. Put pride in it. Learn whatever lesson that you in that moment. We're always going to have problems, and I've just learned that we should embrace problems. Problems are how we grow, how we learn about ourselves. So wherever there's a problem, there's a solution, and in between there's an opportunity for growth and to learn. So don't be discouraged. Keep on forging ahead. Keep on searching for your special place, because in my opinion, God has a special plan for all of us, and it's up to us to find that plan and to follow it step by step. And usually that plan always involves giving back to others as well, and we will prosper because of it.
Definitely. That's very true. What are your plans for the future? Do you have any new projects that you're working on aside from what you've told us already? Is there anything that you're looking forward to doing?
Geez, this business takes up a lot of our time, or my time. I'd love to travel with my family a little more, and I'm excited to get up and go to work, and always trying to build my business and grow my business, and serve others through my business. Always looking for the next thing that kind of get me a little excited. I do a little development. I have a condo project that we've just completed in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, me and a number of partners of mine. So that's a little creative in itself. So that's a project that we're proud of, and that hopefully we'll get to sell successfully. At this stage of my life, I'm content to a degree. Always want to strive for more, but my striving is in a different form now. Aside from giving back to the community, it's spending quality time with my family, with vacations, bringing us all together. Easter time is coming up. I'm looking forward to celebrating that with my entire family. So my plans are to stay healthy, to enjoy life the best I can, and to keep on seeking what I have a passion for, whatever that may be.
Definitely, that sounds like definitely a great plan. If I don't get to see you for Easter, happy Easter.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you very much. And happy holidays to everyone out there.
Happy holidays.
If it's not Easter that they're celebrating, whatever it is you're celebrating, God bless you, and best of health and happiness to everyone.
Thank you so much, George,
it's been my pleasure.
Here.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to interview you today, and I want to thank you and your entire staff from the Villa Russo for having us be able to come and interview you.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for your interest in the Villa Russo. Thank you for the opportunity of telling really my story to those who are interested. So it's always a pleasure to kind of reminisce and kind of tell a little bit about where I've come from. So it's just I appreciate the interest.
You're a very fascinating man, and you've accomplished so much. And your father, Frank Russo, has been so prominent in the neighborhood, and people have loved him so dearly. And who doesn't know Russo's on the Bay?
Right.
And your brother has done a wonderful job as well.
Thank you.
And sometimes it's good to learn about what someone's experiences are, and it helps to inspire others, as well as let people know what you're doing. They may be interested. They may want to be a part of the Boys and Girls. They might be wanting to talk to you and learn more about you in a different way.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that wherever you don't see yourself as in that light. I don't see myself in that light, but I guess we all have something that we can share with others, and we could always learn from anyone,
Right.
be it someone who is in my position, or sometimes I learn more from my children than they learn from me. But certainly I enjoy imparting whatever I've learned from life to those who are younger than me. So it's a pleasure to be interviewed by you and share some of my experiences.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here. I wanted to just go over with you. What is your website again? If someone wanted to reach you and send a message to Villa Russo.
The website here is villarussocatering.com, all one word, obviously, villarussocatering.com. My law office is georgerussoassociates.com. And you can call us at the Villa Russo, 849-0990, obviously 718 area code, or the law office, 849-6900. So it'd be my pleasure if you have any questions about the Villa Russo or my law practice, or is something that you might have got your curiosity during this interview and you want to call me and follow up with some questions. If you're having a special event coming up or you need some legal advice, we are certainly here to assist you.
And you're located at 11816 101 Avenue, Richmond Hill, New York, 11419.
That's correct. If you're familiar with the community, we're at the intersection of 101st Avenue and Lefferts Boulevard. If you have to Google it or MapQuest it, it's 11816 101 Avenue, and the zip is 11419. And we're open 7 days a week, and we do parties of all different sizes and all different occasions. So it'd be our pleasure to show you around and show you